Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar on Android development. First of all, okay, good evening to all. We will be starting in 2 minutes. Let me share my screen. Let me know if I am audible and voice is clear or if any noise coming in background. I think it should be clear. Okay, let's start. Uh, I'm sharing screen. Yeah, okay. So I think my screen is visible to all of you. Hope so. First of all, welcome you all on your webinar that is Build Your First Android App. I will give my introduction to all of you. I am Ajinkya Bahirat. I have 2.5 to 3 years of experience in Android development. I have worked with many client as well as freelanced some projects in Android development. Some of them are private and some of them are public. One of my public project is Swarajyatoran Foundation, which is a calendar app, which is also available on the Play Store. You can check on the Play Store my work also. So that's my basic introduction. So okay, let's begin with our webinar. So first of all, we will talk about the contents in our seminar. That is today what we are going to do or what we are going to learn in the in this seminar, or from this what should you learn and the other things. Okay, so first of all, introduction, then we are going to see the prerequisites for the Android development, then the requirements of the Android development or the overview of the environment that is required for the development or testing the app purpose. Then there is Android Studio basics, then building your first app, and lastly question answer session. So Android Studio basics, the studio which we are going to use for the development purpose, so that all over the basic part, and as well as the building your first app. We will be building today a simple basic app which will displays the information that we write in the text box. Yeah, okay, so let's start with the introduction part. So as you might know, Android is the most commonly used operating system, which is created and managed by the Google itself. So basically, Android is freely available, that's why it is mostly used. But while coming to the operating system, to use it more efficiently, we have to create and such application, or we have to build such a or use such application to run the system efficiently. So uh, today we are going to talk about this overall features of Android, as well as what we can build, or how we can build. So to build such an application for the personal use, or the anything that can be used or that can be done with the help of our smartphone, with the help of one sort of application, that is nothing but the Android app we are going to. So that is called as Android development, and for that we need such an environment to build and create such applications. So there is a called Android Studio. Although there are different ways from which we can build the app, like there is a native way, there is a React, with the help of React, with the help of Flutter, but actual core development is done in Android Studio. That's what we are going to see today. So move on to the next part. So prerequisites. So what you need before going to the actual development or the uh, actual coding part. So basically, there is no need of any prior knowledge. With the help of just concept of basic computer handling and some development life cycle, or the development, how actual development or software is developed, that is enough for the Android development. So, and if you have the knowledge of C++, Java, or object oriented concept, it will be advanced point for it, because in the backend we are going to use the Java as our programming language. Although Android Studio has the feature of you can just type in the first letter of the method or any property, it can be automatically written by the Android Studio itself. So there is no need of any prerequisites. So that's why point is here. And as it says, anyone can develop. So basically, our point of view is that from after the webinar, you should be able to develop, at least create a small application which will be demoed in our webinar. So like so on. So this is the prerequisites. If you have any other languages knowledge or conceptual knowledge, it will be a benefit for you to easily understand the concepts as well as easily understand the other parts of a development process. Okay, so requirements, then coming to the requirements, what hardware is required to develop such an application? A decent laptop or desktop setup will be fine for the development. At least minimum 4 GB of RAM and 2 GB of available space in our uh, hard disk. So it is not recommended to use the below these requirements, because it may like the efficiency of a development will be not okay below this environment. Like you need a minimum RAM of 4 GB and 2 GB of available space onto your memory, so it can easily read and write the operations while creating application. Also a mobile for testing if you are not using an virtual device, that we will be talking in few minutes. And the OS will be anything, that is 7, 8, 10, or 11. Most commonly it is 10 or 11 in nowadays. So if you have the old versions like 7 or 8, it will be also okay, as it is also available. Android Studio is also available for these operating systems. Okay, so after that, let's talk about the Android Studio basics, and let's go and build our first application. Before going that, I want to show you something. So like while developing your applications, you need some environment. Okay, so I am going to show you from where you can download the Android Studio or other requirements. Let me show my screen again. Okay, here it is. So when you search Android Studio onto Google, you can see the first link, that is developer.android.com. So when you click on this link, you will be getting the setup files and all the stuff. Okay, so this is the website from where we can download the Android Studio. So basically Android Studio is a tool to develop Android applications. So okay, clear for that. Then we will be going to develop apps in Android Studio. So you need to download the Android Studio. You can download the other version. It is the preview of the Studio. Some features are listed. So emulator is also here listed. So what is emulator? We will be talking. Then code editor is also available in build. That is what I mentioned, intelligent code editor. Like you just start typing or you just start the typing of first letter or the property name itself, it will be available in our studio, as you can see here. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So here it is the link. Search just the Android Studio, then you will be able to get the link, and then you can download the Android Studio from here. Okay, so after downloading it, uh, it will something look like this, or you need to follow the setup and instructions, then you will be able to do the same. Okay, so now talking about the emulator. So emulator or simulator, you can call it anything. It is nothing but like what we can say. Okay, so you don't have any physical device with you, but you want to test your application. Okay, so where you will be testing. So here the emulator part comes. So emulator is the key where you will be testing your applications in the environment or actual environment. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the downloading of Android Studio. So as you can see, it is a 64-bit. By default, it will recommend you the system efficient, or the it will by default you what is your system is 64-bit or 32-bit. So you can download it from here. It takes few minutes. It depends on your internet speed, and then you have to do some another process. Okay, let me open the Android Studio and we will begin with it. uh this is my previous project which I am be working on, so let me close the project. Okay, so after installing the Android Studio, you will be seeing something like this, or you will be something like this. Okay, so after installing, here is the list of application which I am currently using or which I am currently working on. So here you can customize the themes as well as the different plugins you can add from here. Like now, suppose if you want to use a third party material UI or third party extra activities, so you can install it from here. And here is some documents that you can follow. So after installing, you will be seeing this video. This is the latest version of Android Studio, that is Chimpak. And if you want to create a new project, just simply click on the new project. Okay, so here are different options for which or for what platform you are developing the application, like phone or tablet, Wear OS, that is watch, and that is Android watch, Android TV, and automotive. Automotive is like inside our car for that applications. Okay, Android TV, Wear OS, and phones and tablets. So we will be developing application for our phone. So let's select on phone. So also there are some different activities which are provided by Android Studio itself. So like you want to create an navigation activity, you can go with the navigation activity or navigation drawer, Google Maps, etc. But we want to need, or we just go with the zero, that is empty. So click on empty activity, click on next. So here it will be ask you the name. We will be naming my first application. Okay, then here it is the package name. So this before, like at the beginner level it is not important, but you are when going to the commercial side or you are doing the freelancing part, it is more important, because place where you want to publish your application in Play Store, right? So in Play Store, there is a condition: the package name should be not com.example, it should be com.your company name dot your application. So you can change it here, but now I will be leaving this field as it is, because we are just going for a demo. So here it is the location. So as I previous talked, there are two different languages used by Android Studio, that is Java and Kotlin. So for our development part, we are going with Java, as Java is more comfortable, and almost some of you might know the basics of Java, or basics concept of object oriented programming. If you have not any knowledge of the Java or any programming language, it will be okay, no worries. We will be I will be telling you the way by which you can learn the development. Okay, so here it asks the minimum SDK. So what is the SDK? SDK is nothing but the software development toolkit or kit. So actually you can see the here version of Android Studio. So it asks you what should your minimum version, or what should your minimum Android required for your application. So as here by default it is 8, so we are leaving it by default 8, that is API 26. So what is API? We will be talking about it later, and I think that's it for now. Okay, when you click on finish, it will open the studio, and it takes some few minutes or few seconds depending on your RAM and processor. Oh, if your RAM is 4 GB, it will be okay, or it will be fine, but I would recommend you to go with the 8 GB. So if your RAM is 8 GB, it will be great, and if you are above 8 GB, it will be a great achievement, or what you can say. it will be a plus point to you because the development will be smooth and you can easily develop such application. Okay, so we will wait for some minutes. Okay, it just you can look at here. Yes, it is completed. So if the process is completely available, you have all the options available. So wait few minutes, let the process be complete, and then you can do your application process. Okay, so before going to actual development, let's talk about some basics. So this is the view or window of Android Studio. It had some uh, default menus, or we can say the options like file, edit, view, navigate, code, refactor, build, run, tools, VCS, Windows, help, etc. We are nothing to do with it. Just we are going for the basic part. So nothing to worry about it. So there are two windows. So here it is the code window or code editor, you can say, and here is the directory window where you can see your directories or the file structure, how it's the files are managed, or how we can change the directory structure, or how we can add the files. We can done by here. Okay, so there are different options also. So here you can see the build option. Here is your virtual device, or when you connect your actual device to your laptop or to your PC, it will be available here. So to do that also you need to do setting. You can search it on Google also, or otherwise you can just turn on your debugger options in Android Studio. Sorry, in your Android device, developer options first, and then USB debugging. Then it will show here. Okay, so there is a run application. When you are done with your code, you can simply press this play button, that is running your application. So also after that, these are the save and changes, apply and changes kind of application. This is bug. Up to coming to the next task, syncing your project, we will be talking. So now this is the device manager. Okay, so now I talk to you about Lee. That is, if you don't have any physical device or Android device right now with, or you don't want to test your application on your phone directly, so you can create a virtual device. But here I recommend, if you have 8 GB of RAM minimum, you can go with it. If you have 4 GB of RAM, it might be glitchy or might be lagging sometimes. So I recommend you to go with the 8 GB. So from here you can create the virtual desk. So as you can see, my physical device is showing here, as I connected previously, and virtual device is showing here, that I recently created. Okay, so to create a virtual device, you need to click on the create device. So here you need to select the phone model or anything, resizable, pixel, these are available models, or the skin. It means it will show the picture or actual phone structure like that. So click any one. When you click next, so here are different versions of Android. So what version of your phone of a virtual device it should have, it is listed over here. So you can download any, and when you click on next, it will download. So first of all, you need to download these APIs. So API is nothing but application programming interface. So it is the model or version of your Android device, for what you are developing your application or testing your application. So it will be listed over here. You can see for other images as well as 86 images. Just go with any one. I would recommend you go with the latest version. So that will be 33, that is API level, or you can go with the R, that is API 30. So these are different versions like R, Q, Pi, Oreo. These are older versions and these are newer versions. Okay. When you click on the next, it will build your virtual device and it will show over here. When you click on this button, it will be displayed, or it will be turned on, but we will be doing after our completion of the code. Okay. So this is nothing but device manager from which you can create the virtual devices. Okay. So next part is SDK Manager. Okay, so now before you connect your phone or actual device to Android Studio, you need to install SDK of your device. Like Mine is 10, so already my 10 is partially inserted. Q is partially installed. So if you have any error while your device is not connecting, or your device is not showing in this list, actual list, so you might check this once that your API is installed or not. In my case, I need not to install because I am going to check it on the virtual part or virtual emulator. So that's why when you create an virtual emulator, it will be easy. Okay, so here are some different settings, or this you can say it is a system settings tab. So here is the appearance. You can change the theme. I would recommend you anything. You can just, I love the Dracula theme, so that's why I'm using it. You can change the font color and all the stuff of the editor, etc., etc. And then there is the language and framework, build, execution, deployment, tools, which are tools available, editor, all. That's enough, I think. Okay, so this is this window comes. Now coming towards the directory structure. Okay, so here in Android development or in Android Studio, development structure is the main part or is the main key. Like you need to understand it before actual development because it is the main part. So when you understand this, you will be easy to redirect between the files as well as working on the your application. Okay, so like you can see here, Android is mentioned. By default it will be project, or sometimes it may be Android. Okay, so by default it will be Android. So inside your Android app, there are few, like in your app folder and Gradle scripts. So Gradle scripts are responsible for handling the packages or the APIs which you will be using from the third party as well as from the by default Android. Okay, and app directory is the main where our manifest file, Java files as well as editor files are also. Okay, so sorry for the I missed you to tell about the actual how the application was developed. Before going to these, let me tell you something. So Android Studio, while developing our application, there are two parts. One is designing part, second is coding part, that is backend. So Android Studio will provide you two files, that is .xml and .java. Okay, so XML file is responsible for all designing part, and Java file is responsible for all your backend part. Like now suppose you created a button, okay, or a text view. So need when or how you are going to handle the text view or the button. So that's why the backend file comes in the part. So it will be helping us to handle and manage the backend code. Okay, so that's two files. So now jump back to our directory structure. Okay, so inside our app directory there are different subdirectories like manifest, Java and resource. So what is manifest? Okay, let's open the file on the directory, and there will be only one manifest for all your application, one application. For your one application there will be only one manifest file. So manifest file is responsible for what is your starting activity. So in Android world or in Android development, activity is nothing but a screen, a simple way. We can say that, like here you can see it is the mobile screen view. Okay, so it is nothing but activity. So I'm talking about the screen, that means this activity. So we are be talking about the activity. So which activity should start at the first, or which activity should be run after the another. Or where you might see the different permissions required or asked you while installing the applications. That part also comes under the manifest. So when you need any permission, like now suppose you are creating a camera application where you will be clicking the photos of anything. So to develop such application, we need to access the hardware part of your smartphone. Okay, so to access this hardware part, we need to take the permission from the user. So at that time, manifest come to the part. So inside the manifest file, you can take your permissions, as well as you can write your different permissions. So for that, or you will be using some hardware options like sensors or anything, network or any part. So while using that, you need to take the permission first, so it will be in the manifest. As well as you can see the application part. Okay, so application name, application logo, or application style, these kind of things are done here. So as you can see, allow backup is true. Nothing to worry about it. It might not be uh, meaningful to you, but it is when you are developing the application. Okay, so here is the name of application, our application. So it is written while creating the application. As well as the launcher icon, you can see a small preview over here, and this is the name of launcher. It is by defaultly provided. You can change it when you want. Also the API level 31. Okay, so targeted API is 31. So it will be depending on your Android Studio version, as well as the SDK's version, API version. Okay, so as you can see, this is the launcher activity. When you can see it is a launcher activity, then there is this line. Okay, category dot launcher. Okay, so in our application, we have only one screen, that is main activity. It is called as main activity, or we can say the our first activity. Okay, you can also rename it, but by default, it will be main activity, and the designing file namely as activity underscore XML. Okay, so this is about the manifest part. So in simple words, manifest is important to launch your application and to handle such permissions with the help of user interaction or the help of hardware. Okay, so then there is a next part, that is called Java folder. Okay, inside your Java folder, you can see your package name. Okay, while creating your application, your package name is taken by yourself, or you can change it anytime from there while creating your application. But if you change afterwards, it might reflect in your studio, or it may throw some errors. So it is told that when you are creating your project, it is important to change your package name, so it will not affect while you are publishing your Android application. Okay, so basically this is the activity file listed over here. As you might know, the backend is in Java, so that's why this file comes under the Java folder, then our package name, and then the file name. So with the simply double click, you can open the file. This is the file opened in the editor window. Okay, then these two are the by default created, and we need not to touch these two uh, package names, because it default creates and defaultly managed by the studio itself. We're just going for these files or inside this package. Okay, then there is a resource folder. Res means resources. So different resources which we'll be using in our application, that must have the design part, the different layouts, the different drawable, that is images, or anything which will be come towards the designing, as well as the different XML files. Or in simple words, you can say the layout file, the images, the data which will be using in our Android app, that is in the resource folder, and that is divided into sub parts, that is drawable, layout, map, values, XML. Okay, so let's see one by one. So what is drawable? Inside our drawable, we can store our images which will be used in our application. So they are listed over here. Then the layout is nothing but the a graphical view of a screen when our application is executed. What we are going to show the user, that is, that file is nothing but the layout file. Okay, then mipmap is nothing but the launcher icon, or icon that is used by our Android application, or the small pictorials used in our application, that is nothing but mipmap. Then it comes to the value part. So it has three different parts, that is color, string and theme. So while developing your Android application, you need some set of colors for the application. Like you need some creativity or uniqueness or some part of GUI so to attract the user. So that's why this color file comes. So let's open it. So this contains some by default colors provided by the studio. You can change it simply here, or you can paste the code over here. Okay, but for now we are not going into a deep. Okay, so then there is a string.xml. So string.xml is nothing but now suppose you are creating a button, okay, and the name of button is repeatedly used in multiple activities or in multiple screen. So screen is referred as activity. So let's call it as activity. So when you have multiple activities in your application, like now consider a simple application, WhatsApp application, okay, all might use the WhatsApp. In WhatsApp there are different screen. After your sign up or login, you see the three different screen, that is chat window, status window, call window. Okay, so these are nothing but different activities. Although it's a development part, that's one side, but now for our explanation or consideration, I'll consider these different three window. Okay, so now inside these three different window, you can see your contact name, okay, or the person you are chatting with, their status, and if you called in your call log. So the name is going to repeated in multiple screen. Okay, so to store such a names, there is a file called string.xml. Now here my first application is the string, and this string is namely as app.name. So whenever I want to use such a string, that is my first application, I can simply call it with the help of app underscore name. It is the next part. When you are developing the application, you will be getting the knowledge of this kind of stuff. Like while doing such a thing, you might get idea, and when you stuck on something, you might find some new features of the studio. Okay, so you can be testing some different features and different areas in the Android studio. Okay, so this is the second file in the values folder, and then there is a theme. Okay, so for the development part, there is a basic theme designed by your Android studio. So this is the night theme and this is the regular theme. So what is night theme and what is regular theme? So you might see in the dark mode in your Android phone. Okay, so while developing or while we are on the dark mode, the night theme will be appear, and in normal mode the normal theme will be appear. So these are the colors which we saw in color.xml file. This is the basic theme. Like they are given some name and set some properties or value to it, and while developing application, they just call their names and set their colors or set their theme by default. Okay, so let me close these files as, and there is one XML folder. We need not to worry about it as we are not going to use it. Okay, so leave it as it is. So this is the basic drawable structure or the directory structure, we can say. Okay, so now let's jump back to our design part as well as code part and try to build our first application. Okay, so here you can see in the activity underscore main dot xml file. So XML file is for designing and Java file is for backend part or the coding part. Okay, so here are the two ways for the designing also. Okay, so with the help of just drag and drop, you can design, or you can just write the code itself. You can see the preview over here, or you can simply design just by dragging and dropping. When I click on some objects, it shows its properties like layout, width, height, visibility, etc, etc. Okay, but for a good practice, I would recommend you go with the code, as it is the intelligent code editor, so don't worry about that. Okay, so yeah, let's switch to design. So you can see there are different components in the Android Studio, like text components, that is text view, plain text, password, email, etc., etc. Like buttons, different button, image button, normal button, chip, checkbox, radio group, etc. Then there are different layouts, some different widgets, container, help, etc., etc. But let's jump back to our code part, and we will be developing our application. Okay, so now firstly, be clear in your mind. Okay, so this is our screen. Let me show its features. So now you will be getting the idea of what we are talking. Okay, this is the application, that is the menu, or you can say the draggable part of your device. Okay, it is the name of our application. Let me zoom it for you, and this is the screen which will be developing. Okay, so as you can see in the right side over here, this is the blue box. It shows the structure of our application which will be designing over here. So it shows the structure of the design as well as the preview of the design. Okay, so you can before testing, you can just see over here, it will show the designing part. But to actually check our application works or not, you need to test it on the virtual device or actual phone. Okay, so by default, we got the constraint layout and the text view, that is in the center of our application. So like, now there are different layouts, different as there are different components, there are different layouts in the studio itself. Okay, so like this is constant layout, so there are different layouts like relative layout, or anything extra, or relative layout, linear layout, frame layout. These kind of different layouts are available in Android Studio. So we will be not covering this as we are going to build our basic app. You can check out my YouTube channel as well for the whole development process. I divided into 3 or 4 different sections, so that it might help you. So for now, let's convert this layout into linear layout. Okay, so what is linear layout? Linear layout, okay, we need to change the closing tag as well. So okay, when you open one tag, if you have knowledge of HTML and this kind of web development, so you might know what is mean by tag. So tag is nothing but one property or one attribute which will be using, and it is written inside the less than greater than symbol in simple words, and it should be closed with the slash. Okay, so linear layout is nothing but when your application screen want to be horizontal or vertical view, like you have 5 to 6 buttons on your screen for something, it has doing some operations. So you want them in vertical order or you want them in horizontal order, so at that time linear layout comes in the part. Okay, so for our basic demo, what we are going to do, we are creating one text field, one button, and one text view. Inside our text view, what we write, when on the button click, it will be displayed over here. Okay, so let's jump on to that. So linear layout needs a, uh, so what are these? Layout, width, layout, height, context. Okay, so context is nothing but the name of our Java file. Okay, height and width of that particular tag. So here you can see a blue line over here, so it represent the boundaries of that layout. Okay, you can also see over here, and when I click on the text view, it shows over here like so. Okay, let's give it a side. I will be removing this. So that is nothing but layout, width, and layout height. So how much width do you want and how much height do you want? There are 2 parameters, that is match parent and wrap content. Wrap content is nothing but inside your this layout file you are going to write something, only that part is displayed on the your screen, or that much height or that much width will be taken. So by default it will be match parent, as it should take the whole layout. In some condition or in some application you might something like dividing or uh, a particular layout or particular width, so you can provide it here. So now for our application, let's create one text view. Basically when you want input from the user, there are two parameters, like there are two properties or two tags: edit text and text view. Okay, don't get confused. Edit text is used to take input, or it is editable text, like it is a simple input field. And text view is used to just simply display, like now let's say it is text view. Okay, so it shows some string to us, that is values. It can't be edited, so it is a text view. And when you go to the search window, it is edited, we can type anything. Okay, so it is edit text. In simple words, we will be seeing in our project itself. So now after that you need to click, look here, when I said you need not require any prior knowledge, just I opened the tag with the help of less than symbol and just type the e. So it suggested me about edit text. So when I click on enter, it just automatically write the basic code for me. Okay, it also shows the parameter of that particular property itself, like match parent or wrap content. So we want the width, that is match parent, and we want height to wrap content. So as you can see here, over the line is come. Okay, this is nothing but our edit text. So to close our tag, you can just use the slash, it will be closed and there are no errors. If you would not close, it throws an error. You can see over here as well as here the red line, as well as here the red. So it is closed now. Now what we can do, we can see the hint text, or we can say the placeholder. uh, Sorry, that is hint in Android Studio. Placeholder is in web development, sorry for that. So when you typing the hint, you can type here, enter your text here, or enter means okay, we will just write, type anything. Okay. One point to mention here, Android Studio automatically save the code. You need not to press the control yes, it will automatically save. So don't worry for that. If you lose the power, if you lose your battery, or there is condition called power cut sometimes, so the code will be saved automatically with the help of Android Studio. When you type something, it will be stored and it will be saved. So don't worry. So as you can see, there is this hint called type anything. So it is a non-editable, like it's in the background. So it says type anything when there is no text. When you start typing, it will be hidden. Okay, so that's why that is type anything. Then we have and we need to provide one ID. So like now consider, you just created your text view or edit text, but how we are going to identify in your Java code? Okay, so to identify such a thing, we need to provide a unique value, that is nothing but ID. So here, as you can see, I will show you one more time. Just simply I press I, it shows me the property of ID. When I click on ID, it shows me also property, that is at the rate plus ID slash, and then you need to name your text. So we can simply edit text. Okay, so error will be gone. So here it is, edit text. I think that's enough. You want to provide the margin to the our text field, you can provide it by just in the DP. So as you can see, the slightly change. Okay, let me clear it and show you. Okay, so this is the width taken by the, or the margin taken by the edit text. When you click on M, it will show the property margin. Just simply enter and provide the size you want. As you can see here, size is provided in DP or SP. Okay, like in other programming on another environment, it will be as pixel or anything. So in here it is in DP or SP. So like when we provide the DP, you can see the difference what it did. Okay, that's it for the edit text. Now we want to create one button. Okay, so just I simply type BUT, it shows the suggestion for button. I click enter. Same, we want the width of the button to match parent and height of the button to wrap content, and then close the tag and then write other properties. Okay, uh, so now here you can see the error onto linear layout. Okay, so linear layout need a parameter called orientation. How you want your application, horizontal or vertical? You can see here orientation will be vertical. So like now what we want our edit text over here, button over here, and we want to display our text over something here. Okay, so our orientation will be vertical. Now you can see the error is gone. Let's name our button. uh, for naming convention, you can simply type text like uh, click me. Okay, now you can see the name of the button is also displayed over here. Click me is the name of the button, and it is displayed in the preview as well. Okay, so as edit text, we need to provide the ID to the button also. So here ID btn pin. It's just simple. We will also provide the margin to button, and I think, yeah, layout margin 10 dp. So also you can see the difference. It is slightly changed by sides as well as from the other part. Now what we want, we have done with the basic. For to display text, we need a text view. Okay, I just simply type text, click on text view. Like we want the width match parent, height wrap content, same part, just changing the properties name and the ID part. Okay, ID will be what we can say, display text, and also we will provide a margin to 10 dp. There is no need to provide the margin or padding. It's just a part of a designing. When you're designing your application, it should be uh, attracting to the user. So that's why it's when you are developing application, you might know or you get the idea about same. So I think that's it for our designing part. Let's jump to coding part, or our backend part. Okay, so I will tell you the basic structure, what is this code and all the stuff. So basically it is class. If you know the object oriented concept, then you might know. And it extended the app compact activity. It is by defaultly created. We have nothing to do with it. When you are using the different classes or different interfaces, you need to extend and implement over here. So this is the class. It is named as main activity, which extends the properties of app compact activity. So app compact activity is nothing but it contains these all uh, properties or functions, we can say, and from that we are going to access it in our main class. So here are different packages. This is our main method. uh, Android development or the activity has its own life cycle. So when it is created, on resume, on pause, on stop, on destroy, these are some of different methods. You can just search on Google, that is Android life cycle or activity life cycle, you get idea. So Whenever application is run, the screen is displayed. This method is called firstly. Okay, so that's why it is named as onCreate. It is by defaultly named, so we need not to change it, or we don't have to do anything about it. So it is by defaultly created, and it is set our layout to the screen. So by default, this file will be executed first, main activity.java. Then the layout will be called and displayed. This GUI will be displayed onto your screen. So this part is done in backend, and to display our GUI or screen, the XML file will be called. Okay. So before writing code, you need to do some prerequisites, like what we are using: edit text, button, and text view. So we need to create an object to refer that particular thing in the code part. So we will be creating, here you can see, just I typed the edit. It is also show the edit text that I'll be naming as edit text. Then there is a text view for our displaying text. You can see over here. Uh, I named as display text. You can change the name anywhere, and we have the button. Okay, button begin. So these are some prerequisites. So you need to create these objects before using them. As you might know, before using the class method or class functions, we need to create the object of that class. So we created the object of edit text, text view, and button. But now you think, how we are going to refer a particular thing to particular object or particular variable. Simply consider these three as variable, which will be using for calling that particular thing. Okay, so before calling, how we can refer to it? Okay, so simply there is a property called find view by id. So why I give here the id? So to find these particular button with the help of ID in our code. Okay. So like we can say edit text equals to, so simply type find, you will be getting the find view by ID. Then there is a parameter called r dot id dot, and then the name of your, so it is the name, edit text is name referred from here. Okay. So you need to type the text. So now when I will be performing anything with this edit text in the code, it will be referred to the GUI part of my edit text. Okay. So what is this r.id.edit text? I talked to you about the resource folder. So R means the resource. Inside the resources, also IDs are stored in the backend. So that's why ID and the name of that particular ID, which is from the XML part. So here it is. We will be doing the same for the other two. That is display text equals to find view by id r dot id dot display text. Okay. As you can see, the text color of the particular variable is changing while we are referencing to it. So you can just simply also with the button r dot id dot button. Okay. I think that's it for the reference part. So now what we are going to do, sorry, when we click on that button particularly, then we want our text, that is type over here, to display on that particular text view. Okay. So for that we need the button click, right? So how we can do? Let's check. Okay, we just typing the reference variable button dot. As you can see, there are different methods, but what we want on click, like when we click on the particular button, so we want on click. So just type in on click. Sorry for that. Is, let me check. Oh, sorry. Before going to it, we need to tell the listener set. Okay, you can see over here, set on click listener. So what is this thing? uh, when you create a button, you need to tell that this button is clickable, and when the button is clicked, what you need to do. Okay, so for that we need to do the set on click. Just simply type set on, it will show you the set on click, and just press enter, and then here new view. Okay, from where and what we will be doing after the button click. So just simply click on this view dot on click listener, enter. Then I just press enter. It will be write the whole code for me. As you can see, it is that easy. Okay, I will do it again. I write set on click listener and then new view dot on click listener. So what is new view? So new is referred as the new memory allocation for particular class. So that's why new, and view is nothing but the particular view of that object or of that button. Okay, and then there is a method called on click. So what we need to perform when we done or when the button is clicked, so that is written over here. So now what we want to display this text written on that particular text to be displayed on the text view or our screen. Okay, so we will create one variable called string str. Okay, so string is a data type where we can store the any names. So variable name is str equal to, so here I will be calling the reference of edit text dot get text simple dot to string. It is the type conversion. So basically what I did over here, so I refer to the edit text, that is this part. uh, so get the text, so that is this method get text to get the text from the text field, and dot to string to convert this text into string part. To string is used and it is stored in a string variable. Okay, and now what we want to set it onto the edit text, that is our display text. So display text dot set text, and simply we are going to pass the string object. Yeah, that's simple. Like to set the text to edit text or text field, you need to write the set text method, and to get the particular text you need to use the get text method. These are two text methods provided by edit text and text view class. So I think that's enough for our code and it should work fine. Okay, let's try to run our application and see what it happens. Okay, so I'm going to run my device. So it started just my emulator. As you can see over here, it's building my application. Gradle build running. It might take few minutes for the first time as we are building it for the first time. After that, when you are updating the app, it just quite a few. Okay. By default, it directly launched our application. Let's okay. So this is the virtual device. In some of your studio it is displayed as external source, but in the newer version, that is Chimpak of Android Studio, it is displayed inside this window. So don't need to worry about it. You can change the windows or you can just shuffle between them. Okay, here are some different operations like closing of the app, sound up, rotate, back, recent, overview, home. These are some of the emulator buttons. But while testing our application, we just going with our application. So when I click on the button, nothing happens. Okay, as there is nothing written in the text field. So when we type something, okay, there will be, as you can see, it is displayed over here. Okay, let me change it. This is my first Android app. Okay, when we click on Clippy, it shows this is my first Android app. Yeah, that's pretty much for our demo. Like you can type anything. and after clicking the button, the text should be changed. This simple code does this functionality, as well as the virtual keyboard is also displayed. Okay, so this is the thing. Like what we did, after clicking on the button, we called this method, that is on click, and inside the on click method we get this text and displayed onto the our screen. So this is the basic part and the basic demo of the Android Studio. uh, I think this is the demo, and that's it for the basic part of the Android Studio. Okay, so okay, in this way you can build such application or create such a different types of softwares or apps. You can check it by different creation. Like now suppose, let me show you. You can just simply do multiple text fields and just create a form and display these different details onto your screen. Just give it a try when you are free or when you want to start your code. If you have any problem, you can ask me. I will be there for you anytime. You can contact me on my Instagram or anything you have. Also, I have YouTube channel, that is Ajinkya Bahirat, that is my name. So I have created a basic series of the Android development, and in few days, in few weeks, I'm continuing the series with the advanced development with the database and the other parts. So you can check it my YouTube channel also. So let me show you my YouTube channel. Just a minute. So now if you have any questions, you can uh, put it on the QA screen. Okay, so you can, okay, let me check the screen. Normal, okay, drag and drop parts where we have develop Android application using Android Studio, right? Cell phone, it has mentioned a hello world. Okay, by default, the text field that is shown, I Achit Sharma. Okay, hello world is shown. Yes, exactly. So by default, when you create your application, it displays the hello world option or hello world part onto your screen. Uh, okay, the next question is, which would be better for application development, Java, Kotlin, or Swift? Okay, so basically Swift is used for the iOS development most of the time. Now coming towards the Java and Kotlin, Java is easy as there are different programming concepts or different object-oriented concepts. But you can say Kotlin is like a Python language. Okay, so when you write the 10 lines of Java in Kotlin, you can do with it 5 lines. This just a specific language designed for the Android Studio or Android development. But I would recommend you to go with the Java because it will clear your object-oriented concept also. Sir, please do coding in activity main. You are doing coding only in Excel file. Why? Okay, so basically, as I done both of that because activity underscore main XML is designing part, and the Java file is for the coding purpose. Okay. Now I'll try to put object-oriented programming language, abstraction, interaction, polymer, exception handling, correct, encapsulation, data abstraction. So please tell me what is on-click event handler. Okay, on-click event handler is nothing but when you or like now suppose we tested our application right over here. So when you click on this button, what should be done or what should be handled by the studio itself? That is nothing but the on-click event handler. Okay, so on-click event handler, in other words, you can say like in GUI part there is nothing to do. Okay, So to handle this kind of stuff, there are different kinds of handlers to handle the on click event, on double tap, on zoom, on tap. It depends on your goal, or it depends on your application use case. Okay. uh Kotlin, no questions, just that. Well done. Okay, attendance done. Kotlin is like Python easy. Yeah, Kotlin is easy because Kotlin is actually quite similar to Python, because its coding structure is like same, like, but not with the help of comparison, as Python is the indentation and Kotlin is having the different parts of its own. So these are different language, but you can say like now, suppose we are coding in Java and coding in Python, which is easy, or which is uh, uh, which is easy for the newcomer? Python, I guess, because it has a less line of code, obviously. Like, this is like Kotlin. Okay, attendance done. I think it should be done by the admins. Okay, let me show you my uh, YouTube channel. uh, any other questions? If you have, you can ask me. I'm there for to answer your question. So yeah, this is the my channel where I covered the basic part. Playlist is also available. Android development playlist is available, where I covered the different tutorials on the basic part. There are 10 tutorials, hardly to 20 minutes. Last one is, I think, 28 minutes only. Okay, so this is the basic series I covered. You can check and follow this step by step, uh, from where you can learn the basic part. And in few weeks, I will be continuing the series. So covering up the database part and other extra different activities. Yeah. Provide YouTube channel link. I will subscribe. Okay. I will share it in the chat box. Just a second. Okay, sir, I'm in final year. How much time will it take me to build a major project from scratch, and which will be best language and accessories for me? Okay, and now you're talking about the Android development, or any projects? Let me know that. Okay, if we want to build the major, okay, Android dev, nice. So in Android development, it's a process continuously learning. So there is no specified time or specified period for the learning of Android development. As you can simply just see, there are new updates and new Gradle file or new development updates are coming each and every day by the Google itself for the Android development. So while developing such application, you might get the idea. I would recommend you to start with directly with a project. Okay, I also learned with directly with a project, where I'm working with my town police station for their application. So then there I have no knowledge of Android Studio itself. I have basic knowledge of Java and how to build such a basic part of Android Studio. Okay, and then I started building my application, and day by day I'm going to uh, see the tutorials on the YouTube and got to know about the different parts. Now, suppose you want to build your project in the Android Studio. For your language part, I would recommend you go with the Java, as it might simpler than the Kotlin, or you can just use Kotlin also, but it might take more time to learn Kotlin and then building your project by. So I would recommend you to go with Java for the programming language. And now coming towards the major project, you can do anything in Android Studio. It is all over possible. Also, you can do AR VR development also. Like with the help of sensors, you can do anything. You can handle such a sensor. Okay, I think I'm audible now. So talking about your project, just start doing it. Now consider you want to create the clone version of WhatsApp. Just go one by one how to create the edit text, how to create the button, how to create how to handle the button events, or how to travel between two different activities or two different pro screens. These kind of things, when you are doing your project, you might get idea, and it will also help you to learn the concepts. I'll not learn the basic concept, like learning by doing is kind of part in Android development, which I did, and that helped me a lot. And yeah, that's it. uh Anything else, anyone? You can just follow my YouTube tutorials for the basic parts, or anyone you can follow. I'm not just recommending that my part of YouTube you should follow. You can follow anyone, but in simple words I explain, so it will be easy to got to know. And you, if you have any problem, then here is my Instagram ID. You can just ping me on Instagram. I will definitely help you if I can. I would, I think. When will we get certificate? After completion of the seminar, there will be uh, mail. I think you should get your mail, then you will get. Okay. It may be today or tomorrow. It will be provided to you. No worries. Okay, rocking session. Thanks. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow. I think today itself or tomorrow you will be getting your certificates. So no worries for your certificates. And yep, I think we should conclude the seminar now. Yep. Okay. That's it. And thank you for attending the webinar, and thank you so much for being patient overall the seminar. It might be help you in your future for this kind of Android development. Yeah. And if you have any problem, let me know or let the team know. Also, I want to announce one thing, that is the October batch for the internship part in the CodeClause is going on. You can join on the October batch also. So the internship will be provided to you on the domain you want. You can just go to the CodeClause website, and from where you can check the different internship opportunities provided by the CodeClause. I talked to the admin, so they said October batch is starting, so you can join on the October internship for the internship purpose. Internship certificates, offer letters are also provided. So if you are interested in doing internship in any background or in Android development also, you can check the website of CodeClause. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it for today's session, and see you again in another session if we can. Okay, bye bye. Have a great day. Have a great development, all of you. Okay. Uh, I think we should end, right?